Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. It finally happened. Update. Background. Wife of 5 years, together 14, high school sweethearts, cheated on me with an older man when on vacation with her boxing group. It had been a 6-month year that culminated in a PA and her leaving me for him. Currently in divorce proceedings. 4-month update. Sometimes I just have to laugh at the absurdity of 2020, and we're not even halfway through. exWW and I have been North Carolina for 3-ish months. Divorce papers have been filed, uncontested, and our hearing is scheduled for the end of June. In theory, it should all be over soon. She's been telling people that we're not together anymore because she fell in love with someone else. Sounds all romantic, doesn't it? Of course she chooses to omit the whole cheating part. I have been feeling fantastic overall. The quarantine, as much as I hate it, made me stay home and just get used to being alone. Now I actually enjoy my alone time. I have a very productive and healthy routine that I stick to on weekdays while working from home. I have been on 8 or so dates with an amazing new woman who is thrilled to be with me, and it feels really good. NRE really does feel like a drug, but I have the wherewithal to understand that's what these feelings are. This is the easy part. I have been honest about my situation and she has been very understanding. When I have my bad days, usually triggered by a dream, I tell her that I need a little space that day and she is very understanding. Yesterday, after 3 months North Carolina, my exWW texted me saying, "Hey, I just wanted to make sure everything is okay with you. If you want to talk with someone, I am here for you." For some reason, this message really ducked me up, for lack of a better term. I'm sure most on here can relate. I felt sadness, anger, confusion, everything. I had a few replies written out but deleted them all and deleted the text. Today I am glad I did. Then again today, after I texted her about some logistics, I kept getting emails from our old bank. She said again, "Sorry about that. I understand if you don't want to talk, but if you do, just know that I am here for you." Again, deleted and no reply. No contact really is the only way to go. It's natural for me to want to read into these messages. I think to myself, maybe things with old man dipshit are finally falling apart, or maybe she has something she wants to tell me, or maybe she heard I'm seeing someone else. Anyways, thanks again for everything. Everyone said she would eventually try to crawl back into my life in one form or another, but I didn't believe it. And here we are. Edit. Wow, thanks for the gold. Thanks again so much for this community. The responses have been amazing and have helped me wrap my head around the true meaning of that message. She wants absolution. If she can start being your friend, then she'll feel better about ducking you over. That's a good point. Thanks for the reminder. Or it is an example of narcissistic hoovering. I'm actually not familiar with that. Can you explain? Narcissists often discard, abandon, their victims and then, out of the blue, want to hoover them, suck them back, into a relationship of sorts, sometimes romantic, sometimes platonic. Sometimes they will simply try to get an emotional response from you, just to duck you up for a good measure. If you want to educate yourself about narcissism, many cheaters display narcissistic traits. The internet is full of information about that. I personally recommend Quora. There are many specialists, psychotherapists, there as well as many survivors of narcissistic abuse. Am I crazy or has my mom lost the plot? Post-separation. 2-ish years ago, my high school sweetheart wife of 5 years, together 15, cheated on me with her trainer at a gym. It's a tale as old as time, I know. I had no idea, so naturally I was floored, and with the help of this sub and tons of therapy began the long process of putting my life back together without her, and moving on. Thank God no kids were involved. I am in a serious relationship now, and things are going great. I haven't had any social media in 5 years, and thank God for that, especially during the pandemic. Cut to last week, I got a screenshot from a friend of mine saying, "Isn't that your mum? Why would she write that?" The picture is of my ex-wife and her affair partner celebrating their 2-year anniversary, and my mom wrote "Happy for you," ex-wife's name, with a heart emoji. What the duck? So I thought about it for a bit, called my mom, and her explanation was that she wrote that so she could forgive her and move on in her heart. I told her that is completely insane and that it not only hurt me, it's humiliating. My question is that even remotely acceptable? I feel completely betrayed. Edit, thank you for the replies. I appreciate every one of you. Small update, my dad called and he's pissed at her also. He said that my mom didn't know it was the same guy, if that mattered. To me, it doesn't make it any better. She didn't know it wasn't him either. But that's besides the point. Moms are so bizarre on Facebook. They have no idea how normal people act on Facebook. Someone died and my mom posted a broken heart and the crying laughing face, broken heart, smiley face. Screw Facebook moms. While I can get that someone would mix up the crying laughing emoji and the actually crying one still shouldn't be replying to the news of someone's death with just emojis. It wasn't just emojis, but the emojis were her attempt at being Facebook. Why, I guess. It's a mom's Facebook share, weary face. I often reply to the news of a death with 3 broken heart emojis. A lot of my social media circle are religious people and I am not. The sympathy posts are usually praying for you or thoughts and prayers, and I'm not going there. Also, I am widowed, and the most comfort I felt from people was from those who didn't have a lot to say. They just offered their time to me, sometimes saying nothing at all. So for me it depends on who I am responding to. I'm hundreds of miles away from a lot of friends and I can't just bop over to their house to spend time with them. If they are in my outer circle of friends, I post the 3 broken hearts. I feel their pain, can't properly express it, understand their pain is different than what I know, but want them to feel my support. If it's someone I am closer to, I make a phone call and do my best to just let them talk and cry. This made me laugh. I'd how old she is, but by God that's horrible. Like seriously, smiley face. My mill died in a literally fiery suicide recently, deliberately drove car into tree at top speed and exploded it, and some clown accidentally wished her a smoke-free birthday the next day due to the California wildfires. Remember how in 2005 we would post super cringe shit on MySpace and Xanga? Yeah, that's our parents now. They're just starting to navigate how to use social media and what's acceptable to post. Woman face palming. Can confirm. I am a mother and embarrass my adult children often. Final 2.5-year update. Not easy, but a blessing in disguise. Post-separation. TLDR backstory, my ex-wayward wife and I were together for 15 years, 5 married. High school sweethearts. She cheated on me with a much older man from her gym. I played the pick-me dance for a month or so before I found this sub. Got divorced, no kids, no house, and never heard from her again. Now remarried, bought a house, upgraded job. See old posts here. The past 2.5 years have been a whirlwind, almost all good things. Lots of therapy, great friends to lean on, and an amazing woman have put me 5 years ahead of where I would be if my ex-woo never cheated on me. If you look through my post history on this sub over the last few years, you'll see that the road here has been bumpy. Over that span I cut out a lot of people from my life, my best friend who turned out to be a serial cheater, a few close friends who wanted to sit on the fence, and nearly my own mom, to be determined, for trying to comfort my ex repeatedly. I've decided that if you cannot live up to my values, then I don't want you in my life. The relationships and friends I do keep now are stronger than ever. The first 6 months post-divorce were obviously the hardest. Developed an anxiety disorder that had never been an issue before. I needed medication to keep from having panic attacks at staff meetings at work. The dreams were horrible and non-stop. Dreams of me screaming at her, saying all the things I never got to say, calling her names etc. I am generally a disciplined person, and that went into overdrive when I needed to keep my head on straight. I already ate well, exercised hard, and had hobbies, so that helped me get through day to day. I bought a poster and kept it on my wall with 7 rules of life, https://imager.com/shay/oakley03, and used that as my mantra to get through each day. I was discovering who I was as a person all over again, and I liked that guy. Once I believed deep down that, despite what she wanted me to believe, that none of this had anything to do with me, it wasn't my fault, and that although I wasn't a perfect husband, no one is, I didn't deserve this. I started to look at this as an opportunity rather than a tragedy. About 5 months post-divorce, my friends convinced me that because I hadn't been with another woman in 15 years, I should try out Bumble to casually date a woman and dip my toe in the water. For the record, that was a mistake. I should have waited at least a year because although I had made a ton of progress, I still had a long way to go. After 2 dates with a woman who turned out to have a very strong foot fetish, I matched with a beautiful young woman who wanted to go on a walk for a first date. We hit it off immediately, which scared the hell out of me because all those feelings which I hadn't felt in 15 years started all over again, and I wasn't ready for anything serious. I told her as much, and she understood. Plus, I was planning on moving back to my home state across the country in a few months, as I had just finished grad school and needed a new job. Long story short, we got married last month. We bought a house together, I got the job I went back to school for. Life is great. I got off the anxiety meds over a year ago, they also caused ED, which sucked. None of this would have been possible if my ex-woo never cheated on me. She had a boat anchor, 6 figures, of college debt that would have excluded us from buying a house. She still pops up in my head from time to time, when Google Photos decides I need to remember a day from 5 years ago or something. I've turned it off, it doesn't stop. I don't get angry anymore about it, I pity her. I pity the old guy affair partner who I think she's still with because I heard she went back to school to take on more debt. I wasn't unhappy in my old life, everything was going well. But my new life is still immensely better in every way. It took a lot of hard work to get to where I am today, but it was worth it. Don't stop believing in yourself. You have value, even if your wayward forgot that a long time ago. If you can get through this, you can get through anything and emerge a better person for it. Lastly, thank you to all of you. Without this community, I never would have gotten my head on straight. You all rock. What a great update. The path you took, while painful at times, does make you who you are now and makes your happiness that much sweeter. Congratulations on your new life. Expect at some point your ex-wife will learn of your job and your wife and she will reach out to you. You may think that is unlikely. When her debt becomes a problem, when her man cheats on her or she cheats on him, life will become complicated and she will be looking for a safe harbor. My favorite part about it is that they are doing long distance while she is in school. I love the idea of them trusting each other from hours away. My current wife, who is the love of my life, will celebrate 37 years together this year. Like you, I made a decision for the rest of my life. Excellent move. Love this op. So happy for you. There is life after we go through some of the hardest, darkest points of our lives. Smile. Your long story short jump cut was perfect. Marriage/relationships born out of an affair aren't satisfactory and don't last. https://www.divorcesource.com/blog/ when marriages begin as affairs/ she might try to reach out to you in future. If she messages, ignore. Don't reply. If you bump into her in a restaurant, walk past her like she is a ghost/stranger. If she tries to talk to you, smile and say, "I don't want to talk to you," or rather, "Who are you? Do we know each other?" And then eat your food at the restaurant. Do not leave the restaurant because of her presence. Show her absolute indifference. As for your current wife, discuss your past and make it clear that infidelity is deal breaker for you. More power to you. Hope the ex is miserable and you have a long happy life with the new lady. You should send a gift basket to exWW and thank her. Tell her that her cheating happened to be what you needed in life to better yourself and that you are doing great. It certainly is refreshing to read a success story among all the sad tales of woe. I can just imagine your exWW asking herself, "What the hell was I thinking? I had it all and I blew it." Hopefully, she realizes her mistakes and makes better decisions in her future. But that's not your concern. Wishing you the best. Thank you for sharing. These stories give me hope. This is the best outcome I've read in a long time. Awesomeness. Love to see an update like this. Very happy for you up. Thanks for the update. A lot of happy ending stories never get reported, because the betrayed person uses this subreddit for advice and support, which is great, but then when things are going well, doesn't feel any need or compulsion to let everyone know. That can give a distorted view of how likely or unlikely someone is to successfully reconcile, or successfully move on, etc., because you see all the posts about the problems, but not all the good endings get posts. Good point. I think this is a disappointment. It's like reading a book and finding that the last chapter is missing. That is great news, mate. Goes to show that there is light at the end of every dark tunnel. You've shown the way. I really needed to hear this today, thank you. It's been an especially rough one. I have to say I wish I was having crazy dreams. I see that as emotional processing, integration and acceptance of what happened. Right now I'm not dreaming at all, and having trouble sleeping. Hopefully that'll get better soon. Oh man, I totally remember you. You might find a comment or two from me in the mix somewhere, if you look. So glad things worked out for you and you broke free from the shackles of memory here. I hope you pop in from time to time with advice. Yours is what I consider a success story. Thank you so much for posting this. It brought tears to my eyes, hopeful tears that one day I too will feel this way. I'm so very happy to hear your life is far better than it ever was. I wish you continued happiness, heart. Question for you, since you have a unique situation. You were each other's first, were together since you were 17 and her 14. Also, now you have a relationship you seem to be very happily with and moved on. Here is my question. Assume that she never cheated, but told you that she wasn't happy and wanted a divorce, so there isn't all that shit emotions that comes with infidelity. Where you are now, would you have thought that the relationship wasn't working anymore, and you can see why she would want out, and in fact think you are glad she did as you are happier yourself? Or do you think you two were individually happy in the relationship, and fulfilled and would have likely stayed that way moving forward? I will 100% admit that when she left we were not at our best. However, nobody else, including me, thought anything was wrong. People who knew us forever. The issues we had were because she was pulling away into another man's arms. At that point, obviously, once she has started to emotionally separate from you. I mean prior to that. Prior to the AP coming into the picture. Do you feel the relationship was good? Looking back, was that a relationship you think was good for you long term? Do you think both of you were happy? Again, I ask because you got together so young. I wonder if you were going along because it's all you knew, and kind of inertia had taken its course, or if you were truly happy and feeling fulfilled in the relationship way before the AP came into the picture. And do you think your wife was feeling happy and fulfilled? To be more specific, not necessarily relating to you were busy with school and working. Just, if generally, you felt this was a good relationship for the both of you overall. I certainly felt like we were in a good spot. I can't speak to her state of mind, but there were no warning signs. These are the updates one wants to read in this sub not doormat posts. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.